Good afternoon, I am Jacob and welcome to Pioneer Preview, where we will give you an inside look at some films that could grab your gut or maybe not. Today we're looking at the film Interstellar. Now to start off with this film, we have the actors Matthew McConaughey, Michael Caine, and Anne Hathaway. To begin, Matthew McConaughey is trying to fight for his family's freedom because the world is coming to an end. His daughter begins to finds this map inside the house that they are about to leave, and they set out on a path that, oops, accidentally, they find the NASA secret head base. What's inside NASA's secret head base? Michael Caine. Michael Caine says, "Sir, Matthew McConaughey, we have to leave this place now. Please send us into space." He goes into space. They fly up in a rocket ship. 6 of them. We're not in our space, but we are in another galaxy with several other different planets, okay? Now you might be asking yourself, how did we get to there? Well, they jumped inside these little hypro, like pod chambers, okay? Sat inside like that. They slept 600 years in space. But what was 600 years was actually 35 years on Earth. Blowing your mind. We'll get to that later. It's called time dilation. Anyways, once they get to this planet, they set out. 3 of them out of the 5 of them that were on the ship get out, okay? They're looking on the water, going around on the water. Waves. Big problem, tsunami. Got to get back on the ship. Several people die. Then, once you're going into space, they decide, well, we need to get to another planet because we need to find suitable life for people on Earth. They go to this planet. Uh-oh, Matthew Damon's there, the villain. What happens with Matthew Damon, you want to ask? Well, Matthew Damon takes Matthew McConaughey on a little walk. Matt Damon stabs Matthew McConaughey, takes his air tube, says, "Listen, you're going to die right here. Sorry." Runs all the way back to where Anne Hathaway is, lies about Matthew McConaughey's death. Everybody thinks he's dead. All right? Then they're the last person surviving, Matthew Damon, Anne Hathaway. Matthew Damon blows himself up in this chamber to try and end the science experiment. Anne Hathaway takes a ship, flies away, sees Matthew McConaughey dying on the ridge. He goes to the ridge, raises his hand up in the air, "Save me, save me." She flies down, saves him last second. They're going to fly back up to space. They got to get back to Earth now. Uh-oh, only problem, black hole. Matthew McConaughey has 2 options here. He can either save the black hole, he can save Anne Hathaway from the black hole, or he can fly away, and both of them will never be able to return to Earth. What does Matthew McConaughey does? Sends himself into the black hole. Anne Hathaway is saved. Anne Hathaway goes back onto Earth. Now this is where we get back to time dilation. The crazy thing about time dilation is, if you were to fly in space, say you want to go to Jupiter. All right, we'll take it for example. You start here on Earth, Jupiter's right here. Here you are going to Jupiter, and here's everybody else back on Earth. Now for here, this might have been 5 minutes, but because how space and time warp indifferently, 35 years would be passed on Earth, while 15 minutes would be just like 15 minutes of time for you. Time dilation works very differently because when Anne Hathaway comes back into Earth, Matthew McConaughey's kid, when they left, was 14 years old, and she is now 84 on her deathbed. Anne Hathaway, who was 34 years old the entire time throughout the film, has to tell this poor dying woman that she watched her father die in a black hole so she could send him back. Thank you for joining us on Pioneer Preview. We're looking forward to sharing our film perspective with you next week. Happy viewing.